In 1912, 2 years after the fight of the century or whatever, Johnson was arrested over accusations of violating the Mann Act when he and his girlfriend, she was his girlfriend at the time, and then they ended up getting married to the state that they moved to legally. Lucille Cameron, a white woman, went across state borders. The Mann Act, also titled the White Slave Traffic Act. The white who with what? I move on. Of 1910. This was made in 1910. This was made the exact same year Johnson won. The white people are losers. The white people are losers. Y'all are sore losers, and y'all continue to be sore losers throughout history. I don't understand. I don't understand. Y'all are y'all are losers. Y'all are losers. And then you terrorize us because y'all lost? Y'all rigged the system and lost? And you terrorize us? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Y'all are wacky. Y'all are wacky. I don't understand. Hold on, I'm doing a little scrolly. I also need to start hurrying up because, again, my phone is literally dying. And I kind of need my phone. That's how I do my virtual class. Yes, I'm an online student. COVID still scares me. So this act was named after Congressman James Robert Mann of Illinois. And the law makes it a felony to transport women across state borders for nefarious purposes. I say nefarious purposes because YouTube doesn't like bad words. So we're going to leave it at nefarious purposes. It was actually Lucille Cameron's mom, the one who made the claims that Jack Johnson was stealing her daughter. Now, I know I didn't preface this beforehand, but again, this was the Jim Crow era. Black men were not supposed to talk to white people, especially white women, right? That black man had touched them inappropriately, had done nefarious things with them. And here was Jack Johnson being the icon, I guess, that he is. And he would talk to white women openly and outwardly. Again, he was technically a celebrity at this point, and people followed him. He would talk to white women. He would openly date white women. He married 3 white women. Not at the same time, but he married 3 white women. The case that Cameron's mom tried to make up that Johnson had kidnapped her daughter actually fell apart because Cameron had been doing the deeds, had been doing the nefarious purposes, if you catch my drift, had been doing the nefarious purposes since before Johnson was even in the picture. And the DA's assistant, aka the loser, I was about to drop another F-bomb, the loser, Harry A. Parkin was upset that the case fell apart, and he wanted evidence that Johnson had violated the Mann Act so that he could put Johnson in prison. For loserness, for sore loserness. An anonymous tip came in that led investigators to one of Johnson's ex-girlfriends, Belle Schreiber, I don't know, and I don't care because this woman sucks, who had a sharp memory for all the events between her and Johnson and a rage inside her against him because she's a loser. It was enough to build a case and accuse Johnson of violating the Mann Act 7 times. Spoiler alert, he did not violate the Mann Act. Spoiler alert, he committed no crimes. Thank you. And one of those accounts was transporting this massive loser from Pittsburgh to Chicago on October 15th of 1910. The judge on the case, Judge Kenesaw Mountain Landis, set Johnson's bail at $30,000 and put Johnson in jail. Because he's a loser! I did a smidge more of research, and by a smidge more of research, I mean I read a little further into the article, and that I found this. And basically, he became the first commissioner of baseball and tried to keep it segregated. He's a loser. Spoiler alert. He's a loser and he sucks. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. George Arbor Carpenter started presiding over the case, which is labeled United States v. Jack Arthur Johnson, in Chicago's Federal Building on May 7th of 1913, and on June 4th of 1913, after 2-hour deliberation between 12 white men, he was convicted. And 20 days afterwards, meanwhile he was waiting appeal, he fled, as he should. He and Lucille left to France and to other destinations in Europe, and then obviously the outbreak of World War I. Because he was fleeing and because of World War I, he did not fight in any matches during this time, and he was running low on money, so he decided to go to South America. Is this what they mean by big circle? Alright. We're back in business. So, now we have two people into the mix, into the story. We got Jack Curley and Harry Frazee? Don't know, don't care. Ooh, I should probably sound like this. Actually, no, because then I can't see my laptop. So, you know what? I'll just sit like this. No, never mind. I'll sit like this. Y'all like my knee? Yeah, okay. You know what? Don't worry about it. So anyways, Jack Curley and Jack Frazee. Right? And as capitalism exists, they saw an opportunity to market Jack Johnson's existence. Because why not? And so in the 1940s, 1940s. Oh, okay. Someone just tweeted. I'm sorry. In 1914, they arranged a title fight between Johnson and Jess Willard. I don't like the fact that this man is named Jess because I'm named Jess. But I'm clearly the superior Jess. So Jess Willard was born on December 29th, 1881. He was 6'6" and 242 pounds. And by the time of his death in 1968, he had fought a total of 34 times, won 26 times, 20 of those by KO, had 7 losses, 2 draws, and 0 no contests. This fight occurred April 5th of 1915. The first time I read this out for the recording, I said Havana, Cuba. Who am I? I'll probably play an audio clip in here. But who am I? Who is this? No. We don't say Havana, Cuba. What do I look like? White? I mean, I am pretty pale, but still, that's because I haven't seen the sun in years. Y'all remember when I started this channel? Y'all remember my first video when I seriously got into this? Y'all saw the foundation shade I bought from e.l.f. That was my perfect match. I just haven't seen the sun in years. Okay, this isn't no Havana, Cuba. No, I'm not white. Technically, I am white, but I don't identify with white. I identify with Cubana, Latina. So, I'm going to say this correctly. Habana, Cuba. If any of you want to fight me, you can in the comments. I'm hydrated enough for it. Let's take our cute little hydration break. So this fight occurred April 5th of 1915 in Habana, Cuba. And it was set to have 45 rounds, but by the 26th round, Johnson was KO'd by Willard, and it was basically at this point when he lost the heavyweight champion title. Claimed the wackiest thing in his autobiography, which was that they told him that if he lost this fight, if he threw away his shot, that basically he would be granted a pardon from the U.S. government because, again, I don't know if you remember this, but he was convicted of crimes he did not commit. He was convicted of taking his girlfriend, who later became his wife, across state lines. And he was also convicted of bringing other women across state lines when he didn't. We're gonna get into it. The day after, April 6th, Johnson was basically like, hey, can I come back into the country now? And the Secretary of State at the time, William, I don't know why I put William with like a capital I. At first I thought just like two I's. Ilium. Liam. William Jennings Bryan basically said no. Heart. Basically denied him from obtaining a passport to come back into the country. And then World War II was still going on at this time, because of course it was. World War II didn't end till like, they say 1918, I say 1919. Because I'm built different. I'm not like other girls. Okay, I'm done. So basically he went to Spain and then to Mexico. And in the spring of 1920, after the war, Johnson surrendered, and on July 20th, he stepped across the Tijuana border into U.S. custody. Sorry, I'm reading off my script. Into Leavenworth, Texas. Leavenworth, Kansas. Leavenworth, Kansas to serve his sentence. Now, I know y'all were waiting for this. I know you're like, listen, girl. This is a very interesting story. I love this Jack Johnson guy already. I love the boundaries he broke in wrestling and pro wrestling. But this title says wrench, and I'm not seeing many wrenches. And now this dude's in prison for a crime he didn't commit. What's going on, lady? Listen to me. Let me read this from my script, because I think I put it very eloquently. Finally, as if Johnson wasn't impressive enough already, it was during his prison sentence. Meanwhile, he was locked up for a crime he did not commit. He designed the wrench in prison. Y'all can never. It was like, I need something to tighten some nuts. Time to design a wrench in prison. Now, when he was released on July 9th, 1921, I believe one of my sources stated that the Lucille Cameron was waiting for him or something. I don't know. He was released on July 9th of 1921, and on April 18th, 1922, so almost a year later, he patented the wrench design that he made in prison. Now, he's not the only person who has patented a wrench design. Let me go through these names real quick. Yes, I'm still drinking this. I know you've seen the light changes. These have been filmed at different times during the day. But I'm still drinking this because I need to drink way more water than I do. But I don't, because I hate going to the bathroom to pee. Alright. I want to be healthy. I want to be hydrated. Oh, this looks like really pretty. That looks pretty. Like, I want to be hydrated, but procrastination stops me from being healthy because I hate getting up to go pee. Alright, but this video isn't about my strange peeing habits. Y'all, I don't think y'all need to know that. So, Solomon Merrick, he was the first person I saw. Patented the first wrench in 1835. Charles Monkey invented the monkey wrench in 1858. And the reason that it's called the monkey wrench is because his last name is Monkey. I'll put it on the screen. And basically, it was just a purposeful misspelling of his last name. And then a year after Johnson, September 9, 1913, Robert Owen Jr. received a patent for the double-acting wrench, which apparently the wrench heads of the world claim is like the biggest and baddest. Like, if it was not for the double-acting wrench, we wouldn't know peace, apparently. And okay, so that's all about wrench patents. I know that's what y'all came to my channel for. Y'all saw me and you were like, this girl knows a thing or two about wrenches. I know that's what y'all thought upon your first impressions of me. Say it. You knew that I knew lots about wrenches. I'm kidding. I really need to stop cursing. It's not ladylike. But, I mean, I don't care. In 1920, Johnson opened up the Club Deluxe, or the Cotton Club. Club Deluxe was a 40-seat club located... I read from my script because I don't have the memory capacity for anything. Located on 142nd Street and Lenox Avenue. Owen Madden took over in 1922, and overall the better years of the club were from 1922 to 1935, before the Harlem Riots occurred. The Harlem Riots occurred in 1935. Little history. Black artists performed at the now 700-seat club, such as Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Ethel Waters, Lena Horne, and so on and so forth, to white patrons. After the Harlem Riots, the club relocated to West 48th Street, but sadly the club did not live up to the hype. And it was closed down in 1940. I wish it wasn't, though. Now, sadly, our beautiful, beautiful man, Jack Johnson, died. He died June 10th, 1964 of a car crash. My sources report different reasons for how he got into the car crash. So one of my sources state that because this was the Jim Crow time, the Jim Crow era, everything was segregated, that a restaurant in Raleigh, California, whatever. I mean, not California, North Carolina. Refused to allow him to stay at the restaurant because it's whites only, and he's a beautiful black man. So he got upset and he struck a pole as he was driving at immensely high speeds. And then he died before he was able to get to the hospital because of the fact that the only hospital that would treat black patients was 25 miles away. Another source of mine stated that he was driving to see the Joe Louis versus Billy Conn championship fight. So, sadly, he passed away in a car crash. I don't know in which scenario, but I don't want to speculate or debate on that because he passed away, because of that. I know the Sylvester Stallone fans were screaming at me just a bit because they're like, oh my god, you don't know what fighting southpaw is? I know what fighting southpaw is, do you? Thank you. And then they're like, listen, lady, you said you were going to make it up to me by talking about my beautiful, sweet king, Sylvester Stallone. Where is he? Here and now. Because Sylvester Stallone has been appealing to presidents to pardon Jack Johnson for years. He appealed to the Obama administration to pardon Jack Johnson. The Obama administration sadly did not pardon him because of the fact that basically he was convicted of a crime he never committed. Right? So basically a presidential pardon is being like, whoopsie daisy, we're sorry we did that. The more famous example of a pardon that I personally know is when we pardoned Hawaii, where we were like, whoopsies, sorry, we like overthrew your government and locked up your queen or something. XOXO! That's basically a presidential pardon. And Sylvester Stallone has been appealing to presidents to pardon Jack Johnson for a while. Again, he appealed to the Obama administration to no avail. But then in 2018, he appealed to the Trump administration, and they pardoned him after 105 years. Now, I think you can all gather from my thoughts and feelings and everything I have said that I think Trump is a major loser and he sucks. I'll admit when right is right. And granted, this is very low ball, bare minimum actions. I do like the fact that Trump pardoned him. What a crazy time I lived in. I do like the fact that Trump pardoned him, even though I think Trump is a sore loser and sucks. It also felt really nice because I was writing this in January before inauguration time. Like, I was working on this script like January 3rd during winter break because I felt productive for once in my life. So granted, Biden wasn't president just yet, but you know, this series is coming out in February, so Trump wouldn't be president, it would be Biden. And it felt really nice to write former President Donald J. Trump. It felt really nice. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it felt so cathartic. But it felt great. It felt great. So basically, I'm very glad that Stallone pushed hard for Johnson to be pardoned for crimes he did not commit, because again, he did not commit any crimes. Need I remind you? And I'm glad that after all these years, someone was in Johnson's corner to get him justice, even if it's belated. What Trump had to say about this, let me read from my notes. Trump stated that Johnson was one of the greatest that ever lived. He was pretty much unbeatable. And that Johnson was treated very rough. I'm glad he pardoned him. Even if it was over a century late, I'm glad we did that. To conclude this video, I just want to say, let me read this from my notes so I don't misspeak. I'm going to put my dirty glasses back on. I hope that one thing you take away from this video is to face your fears and allow those that are prejudiced towards you to fuel you instead of bring you down, because despite it all, Johnson became the first ever black man to become the world heavyweight champion. He did it during a time where any sort of black success, especially in a sport that requires so much physical strength and stamina, would be shunned and led to violence. Rest in peace, Jack Johnson, and thank you for the wrench and leading the pathway for black people. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. I honestly think that the creation of the wrench was just a footnote for all the amazing things that Jack Johnson did, especially for the black community. And it upsets me that he had to live during this time and that any sort of success for him and the community that he represented that backed him up was seen with vitriol and hatred and murder, because at the end of the day, 11 to 26 people died because he created another win for the black community in wrestling. And I'm so glad that black people have this man and other amazing black people to look up to say, if he could do it, then so can I. And I'm so glad that he was able to become the first ever black heavyweight champion and win that success. And it also breaks my heart that he was committed of a crime he did not commit because of the fact that he won. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and speculate that the Mann Act was created because of his success, but I think it's a logical conclusion. I really have to say, rest and power, Jack Johnson. If you want to know more about him, I'm sure I only gave the bare surface level, even though I really tried. You're gonna see I used so many sources, so many articles, but if you want to see more of him, again, you can always read those articles. There are plenty of documentaries. I'll see if I can link some of them down below in the Google Doc. And yeah, that's the end of my video. If you liked it, please like it. If you didn't like it, you can dislike it. Regardless, it's engagement for me. I would also like to ask why you didn't like it, but that's neither here nor there. If you want to have a discussion about Jack Johnson, the things he did, or you want to leave me some suggestions for other Black people to look at, maybe not this month, but maybe next time I do this, leave them down below. I would love to hear who you guys suggest down below. If you guys want to correct me on anything or want to add in more fun facts about Jack Johnson, I would really appreciate it. I love learning, and I'm a history junkie. I love history, and I love learning about people, especially people like this who are such an inspiration to the Black community and to other communities out there. If there's anything you guys just want to talk about him, please leave it down in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, are enjoying this series so far, please leave that down below. This isn't going to be the first video of it, and it's certainly not going to be the last. Well, this is the first video on it, and this is the first video of this series, but it's not going to be the last, and there's going to be a bunch of, spin-offs. Not really spin-offs, but spin-offs. You get me. We're going to branch this series out into different minorities because minorities need their stories to be told, because we have done so much for history that it's ridiculous that students have to learn about their own culture and their own history through a Netflix comedy documentary. Y'all see how y'all are getting me emotional? Anyways, yeah. If you like this video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. I don't know why you wouldn't like it, but you can tell me that down below. Share this video if you think it's worth sharing. I think it's worth sharing, but then again, I am a history junkie. And subscribe so you do not miss more videos of me, and hit the post notifications so that, again, you don't miss more videos of me. Remember to set them to all, because if you set them to personalized or whatever, it's not going to show up. And I know you guys want to see more of this series, more of what I have planned out for 2021, because trust me, it's going to be epic. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm just rambling now, so bye-bye.